Welcome to another playlist for analytical approaches to modern geometry. This playlist will focus on the geometry of the sphere. But to start, let's try to introduce R3 as a space here, because this is all about the items or concepts that will undergo or underlying principle for the geometry of the sphere. Now, when we study geometry in 3 dimensions where our sphere is included, the natural setting of the space of ordered triples of the real numbers is denoted by R3. Generally, R3 here is a space or a set, okay, containing ordered triplets x, y, and z for all x, y, and z be real numbers. So everything that we can actually find on the sphere and geometry of the sphere will actually involve ideas on R3 or combinations of points or vectors that will undergo order triples. Okay? Because R3 is again the collection of all points or vectors in a 3-dimensional space. Now we can see here a certain illustration where we can also improve later on. We'll be using here Desmos just to illustrate the existence of a point or a vector in R3 later. But we will have to discuss this first here before I would insert a certain video talking about the Desmos or illustrating using a Desmos. Of course, R3 is a space, but we are going to show as well in this playlist that this is a vector space. Okay, that is why firstly let's try to introduce the existence of the order triples before we start showing whether it is a vector space or not. Then after that, we're going to talk about some concepts underlying the geometry of the sphere. Now this is the space here, 3D space. Generally and most commonly used, this axis here is actually our x-axis, where all the points leading towards this direction are positive in quantity. And of course, if we are going to draw something its opposite side, we'll deal with the negative values of our x. Now, y-axis is this portion here, and the other way around would be the negative y-axis as going as in that direction. And this one more axis here stands for the z values. Okay, that's our height, making our space here a 3D space. And of course, everything that you can see here at the bottom with a negative value for z. In short, everything that we can see here, it may be a point, a line, or this time later on, the vector is actually a combination of all the values of x, y, and z. By the way, other references would like to use this one here as x, and this would be our y, okay? Just to pattern with the Cartesian plane where x is somewhat horizontal, and that would be our y there. And of course, the vertical one or the height becomes our z. Okay, just for this discussion, let's just simply stick to the common form of our space, where x is in this form, y and z in the specific positions. This time, let's try to locate existence of points. And how do we find points which connect later on to vectors and later on to some other illustrations, specifically the sphere in 3D. Now, if we have here a certain point, let's say we have a point here, 2, 4, and 1. The first component stands for our x. The second component stands for our y. The third component stands for our z. We can locate that point by understanding the planes that compose this 3D portion. Now take note, our x-axis is this one here, and this is our y. That would mean the plane combining those axes, that means this plane here, okay? This would be the composition of our y and x. This is your xy plane. Now, on the other hand, if we're going to talk about the component for our x and z, this is actually our xz plane. And the remaining plane, composed with z and y axis, you will have here your yz plane. These are very important because once you plot here your points, you need to understand the location of it pertaining on what plane you're referring to. Okay? So what we need to do here first is to find out the location of our first point. We're talking about the x. X value is actually found at 2, considering that all parts here are actually 1. So we have here 1 and 2. This is the location for our x alone. But to connect it with our y, where it is actually at 4, so it's actually here 1, 2, 3, 4. The location of 2 and 4 for xy plane is the intersection of the points of x and y. This is its location. This is the intersection of x being 2 and y being 4. Okay, this value here. But this is not actually the final answer because it's just part of our point in the 3D space or in R3. So we need to locate the other combination, talking about the combination of 2 and z is actually at 1, or let me increase the z so that we can actually see it fully. Let's say our z is actually 7. So z is at 7. You can have it here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is where our z is. How can we draw our point later on when we try to connect this one? So my suggestion here is to find out the other planes, preferably when we talk about our xz plane as 2 and 7. So xz plane, the location for that is this one here, because this is the what connects to our 2, and this is what connects to 7. This is for the xz plane. And to complete that for our yz plane, 4 and 7, you have here 4 and you will have here 7. Okay, so this is the location in the yz plane. Now to find out the location of the certain point, we need to connect all those connections for all planes. So this is for the xy plane. This let me use another notation. This was for the xz plane. This xy. This for the xz plane. This for the yz plane. By drawing a certain figure in case of a rectangular prism, okay, you would actually find out the location of our point, as we're going to probably draw a similar xy plane at this point here. So if we're going to draw a similar xy plane, assuming that we will have parallel to the xy plane at the bottom, so you will have here this connection. This point here is the location for your 2, 4, and 7. Okay, this is the point of your 2, 4, and 7. And take note, it should be in 3D space. It may not look 3D for this given perspective because we have here a 2D figure. That's why we will have decimals later on. And that stands for our 0.2, 4, and 7. If we're going to talk about the vector containing that, so simply connect that from our origin. By the way, I forgot to mention the origin, the intersection of all axes, 0, 0, and 0. This is our origin. Connecting that with the point, that stands for the vector of our point 2, 4, and 7. Now, if our point or the values for x, y, and z are negative, so of course you're going to move backwards for x, move here for our y, and move down for our z. It just so happened that our point here is positive 2, 4, and 7. Now, here comes the better illustration. I would like to insert here the idea of Desmos. Allow me to use my other set of video to connect this one to our better illustration. So I have here an illustration for the Desmos. Now, when you look at this interface, you would see that the location of x is actually at this point here, and y is that direction. But again, generally, for some references, we have x here and y there. And of course, z is with this portion. Of course, when you talk about Desmos, I'm not promoting this one, but I am using this to actually illustrate this further. You can, of course, rotate this one and even move it that direction for you to be able to see the location of our point. Now, take note, we're going to follow what I have presented earlier. This was the direction where x is here, y is here, and of course y is there. So if we're going to plot our point, simply place it here. You will have here the location for 2, 4, and 7. By plotting that, you would see here on our plane the location of 2, 4, and 7. It's not still obvious here because it's just until 2, 4, but you could actually see this further by zooming out. Okay, so it's there. When I zoom out, you would see the location of our point here, the green one, here in this location. Now, if you're not convinced with this, you can always look at the planes by rotating this. When you look at it, now this is our x, this is our y plane. When you try to rotate that one, you would see the connection, okay, This is the XY plane. XY plane. Our X earlier was 2. This was 2, right? Okay. 2, positive direction towards that. And we have here 4. That's for 2 and 4 based on our point. For our XZ plane, you can rotate in this manner. And you would see the location here. Though it is on 5. But of course, you can increase that. You can use your mouse here. Basically, we could see it if I have less than 5. But basically, this is actually the XZ plane. 2 is here, and 7 is almost there. And of course, for our YZ plane, YZ, you would also see here that Y is actually closer to 5. That means it's 4. And you have here your 7. This is the location for our point 247 on our 3D or R3 plane. Now, if you would like to use negative values, you can only use here. I'm using this one instead of the 2D earlier so that we can actually look into the correct form. So let's say you have here -1, and let's have 4, and you have here -2 for our next point. Take note, it's our purple here. You would see its location here because Z is at the bottom, okay? And our X is actually negative. But it looks like positive in this direction. That's why Desmos will allow us to rotate this one, and you would see that X would really have negative value, or if you don't want that, you can use in this perspective. Our X is actually negative as X here is being positive in this direction. You would see the value. And 4 is still on 4. So that's for our Y. You would see that for our Y, it's still 4, sorry. It's still 4 at this point here. Okay? That is the location for our Y at point 4. Okay, and this is actually if I'm correct, X, so -1, and the location Z is at the bottom, -2. Okay, now before we end this video, and I also presented here the Desmos, and this video is very long, but it is to actually introduce R3. How do we plot our vectors, okay? Because we're talking about vectors later on. Now, of course, you can actually draw a certain point here, or instead of vector, let me draw a line, okay? Let's talk about a line. Let me draw a line. And as we have learned in the R2, line can be written as a combination of a point plus its vector. Let's consider this point 247 as a vector or a direction vector for our line here. So we can start, if we are to start with 0, the origin, okay, 0, 0, 0, plus a certain t, okay, multiple of t for our vector 2, 4, and 7, you would see that a line is actually forming here. You would see that it ended until our vector 2, 4, and 7. It started with our region here, and this is how we write, or we have written any form of a line with a combination in terms of p plus our vector. But since we're talking about t here just for unit vector, so we'll have that. If you want to have a longer line, of course, let's say it's 6 or even longer than that, you would see that it is even longer. But until 1, just for the unit vector, would stand for the point itself. This is the vector supposedly. Now, if we're going to, I had that on our previous illustration with the 2D earlier, when we connect the origin and the point to consider as the vector. Similarly, if you're going to write the vector for the second one, you may start with 0, 0, 0. Take note, the notation here is red, so something red would pop up here. You have your plus t, and then your direction vector, -1, 4, and -2. It would connect to the point, okay, somewhere here. This is why we had this Desmos to illustrate further our form. Now, you can use this to illustrate further any other notations, but this is how we illustrate it clearly than the previous illustration I had. Now, returning to this, take note we are introducing R3 for our playlist, because later on we might see some points and illustrations in R3. So the next few videos for this is actually on proving whether R3 is a vector space or not. So we're going to talk about vector addition, scalar multiplication, and need to satisfy all the rest of the conditions for a certain space to be a vector space. We'll have that as a separate video. Thank you very much for watching.